yourself together, Teddy. Pull yourself together. It's just water. It's a lot of water.
Welcome to the first and last ever episode of Beyond the Screen, starring and produced by yours truly, Garrett Johnson, Cruz Sandoval, and Max Slan. Today, we will be dissecting and exploring the worlds of Beloved and Shutter Island.
Toni Morrison's novel, Beloved, published in 1987, offers insight to the profound psychological effects of coping with guilt through the story of Setha, an escaped slave living in Cincinnati, Ohio. Based on the story of Margaret Garner, whose trial for infanticide was widely circulated in newspapers in 1856, she shows how individuals cope with debilitating guilt by constructing alternate realities. In the novel, Setha deals with trauma and guilt of killing her daughter to spare her from slavery by repressing her memories, only for her trauma to resurface as a physical manifestation of a ghost.
Shutter Island is a 2010 thriller film starring Leonardo DiCaprio and directed by Martin Scorsese. The film is an adaptation of the 2003 novel Under the Same Name, written by Dennis Lehane. The film follows U.S. Marshal Teddy Daniels, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, and his partner, Chuck Alou, who is played by Andrew Ruffalo. The two travel to Shutter Island to uncover the mystery of the missing 67th patient, Rachel Solando, at the Ashcliff Hospital for the Criminally Insane. As the duo's investigation deepens, Teddy becomes convinced he is uncovering a conspiracy. However, it is later revealed that Teddy is actually the 67th patient, Andrew Laeddis.
You've been here for 2 years, a patient of this institution.
Who killed his wife after she killed his 3 kids, and has created a false persona to avoid the guilt. Morrison's Beloved and Scorsese's Shutter Island show that guilt forces characters to reshape their identity in order to deal with the pain of past actions.
In Beloved, Morrison creates an environment of rejection against the characters' past actions using internal safe houses where they bottle up their emotions because they fear reliving their trauma. In Setha's case, she metaphorically keeps a hobnail casket of jewels inside a tree hollow, which Morrison says should be fondled before it is opened. Through this, it's shown that the extreme traumatic experience of killing Beloved cannot be directly confronted without extreme caution. By storing these memories in a tree hollow, she implies that these memories are hidden and secluded, while the symbolism of jewels shows that the memories are still valuable and personal to Setha. This is also seen in Paul D's character, where Morrison similarly traps his memories from Sweet Home, the plantation where he was subjected to being part of a chain gang and being placed in a bit.
This idea is also paralleled in Shutter Island. In Shutter Island, Scorsese creates a motif of the island's lighthouse. Throughout the film, the lighthouse on Shutter Island serves as a driving destination for DiCaprio's character, who is convinced illegal experiments are taking place there.
I'm going to that lighthouse. I'm gonna find out what the fuck is happening on this island.
However, in the penultimate scene, Dr. Cawley reveals to Teddy that he is actually Andrew Laeddis, and the hospital set up the whole ordeal in hopes to get him to accept his identity and confront his guilt.
You were committed here by court order 24 months ago. Your crime is terrible, one you can't forgive yourself for, so you invented another self.
The lighthouse serves as Andrew's internal safe house, similar to Setha's casket of jewels. It is where the true identity of Andrew Laeddis is stored, and once he reaches it, it is where his true identity is revealed and he is forced to confront it.
While both Beloved and Shutter Island show characters hiding from their traumatic realities through their own internal safe houses, they contrast how their realities are then confronted. In Beloved, Morrison shows that trauma never fully disappears and that it is fully tied to identity. Setha's hobnail casket of jewels shows that these memories are very painful but very important, and that the past should be preserved. Scorsese shows Andrew Laeddis' denial as something built through illusion. The lighthouse in Shutter Island is a false obsession in Andrew's mind to avoid the death of his wife. Unlike Setha, whose memories are very painful but still very important, Andrew's false realities must break for the truth to be fully recognized. Therefore, Morrison shows trauma as an important part in one's identity, while Scorsese presents trauma as a way to escape reality.
Additionally, the text contrasts their portrayal of the characters' defiance towards their own reality. In Shutter Island, Andrew Laeddis rejects the reality of killing his own wife. While on the island, he repeatedly refers back to and talks about a patient named Andrew Laeddis.
ever meet a patient named Andrew Latus?
Latus. He's here. Latus. I can feel him.
Andrew, who believes himself to be Teddy Daniels, becomes obsessed with Andrew Latus, and his pursuit represents his projection of his own guilt onto someone else. This allows DiCaprio's character to avoid the trauma and the guilt himself that comes with the man named Andrew Latus, thus freeing him from the guilt of killing his own wife. This shows how Andrew constructs an alternate reality in order to distance himself from the truth and responsibility of killing his wife.
In Beloved, Setha embraces her actions and states them as a necessity in order to save her and her children from the horrors of slavery. On page 190, after being confronted by Paul D. about the story of her killing Beloved in the newspaper clipping, Setha says, "I did it. I got us all out. I did that, me using my own head." Setha uses positive diction here to justify and frame her actions as an achievement rather than a gruesome act. Morrison also makes the pacing of this passage faster through shorter sentences, which indicates Setha being overwhelmed and possibly defensive when remembering her past. It's shown in this passage that Setha's confrontation with her past actions are possible, which contrasts Andrew Latus's reaction in Shutter Island, who is unable to fathom that he's the 67th patient on the island.
Both Morrison's Beloved and Scorsese's Shutter Island creates alternate realities as a way to escape painful memories that they will not be able to emotionally survive. In Shutter Island, Teddy Daniels creates a false identity to escape reality and the death of his wife. Similarly, in Morrison's Beloved, Setha is haunted by the reappearance of her dead baby Beloved, as she haunts the House of 124. This reappearance shows how her past traumatic experiences continues to bring her re-memory and control her present life. Despite this, Scorsese portrays coping by making Andrew Latus pursue a fake patient in order to distance himself as much as possible from the fact that he himself is the patient. This contrasts from Beloved, and as Morrison shows coping as a complete rejection of her past actions. Both the works show how when trauma becomes too unbearable, the human mind creates false realities and narratives to briefly escape from the internal suffering.